Good evening, good afternoon, maybe good morning in some parts of the world right now. This is Dr. Ashish, and I am back with my live, thankfully, same time, same day, Wednesday evening, when I will be coming live at 8 o'clock and talking to you all about fertility journey, people who are trying to conceive, and what can we do, and what are the different situations related to that, different conditions, different issues that are related to couples and women who are going through fertility issues and fertility journey. So my name is Dr. Ashish, and today's topic is about reducing the stress. I would like to take all the stress away, but I'm using the word reducing from whatever level of stress you have when you're trying to get pregnant, when you have been on fertility journey for many months. How can we reduce the stress that is created? So I'm going to talk about something a little different, something a bit unique. Maybe you haven't thought of doing that yet, and perhaps this is something, and to simplify it as well. I like things simpler. That's just how I like to do things for myself and also for my clients, is make things simpler so that it is easier, and also it takes away the stress, the unnecessary stress. There is going to be some kind of activity, some movement, some stress is what we call the good stress, which helps us to keep moving and keep motivating ourselves. That is going to be there. But it is the unnecessary stress which then takes over people's lives, especially the ones who are trying to conceive. So how does stress manifest? Yeah, what does stress look like? Because everybody says, I mean, stress is the kind of buzzword, but what does it look like for people? Actual manifestation of stress in your life. Yeah, feel free to comment. Even otherwise, if you are listening and not necessarily related to fertility, how does stress manifest for you? So stress also means for people overwhelm, when you are just completely can't think straight. It's too overwhelming, too many things happening at the same time. Stress is also worrying about things. Stress also manifests as anxiety. It may manifest as overeating, undereating, itching your skin, itching your scalp, biting your nails. A lot of people, when they're stressed out, they bite their nails. Constipated, diarrhea as well can be, one way of manifesting stress in people. Yelling, fighting, quarrelsome, irritated, irritable, headaches, migraines, when the mind is so overwhelmed that you're having constant headaches or regular headaches or migraines. Forgetfulness, you're forgetting things, forgot to lock the door or forgot the house keys inside the house. Tearful, you're more emotional. So all of these things and many more. Everybody's stress triggers are different, and everybody's stress manifestation is also different. So it is, how does it manifest in your life right now, when you're trying to get pregnant, when you are on this journey of on this journey of dreams and hopes, and you are doing a lot of things to make it happen. And also when there are unnecessary delays, like what happened last year because of the COVID, and a lot of the clinics were shut. Gynecological clinics had a huge setback. And also we know that partners were not allowed to go inside with their partners in the clinics for checkups, in IVF clinics for checkups. And that created a huge amount of stressful situation when you are going through all these appointments and you want your best partner to be there and you can't take anybody with you. It is highly stressful. And then the delays that has happened. So this is for now, but fertility journey overall is stressful. That's one of the words that I hear again and again from my clients, from other discussions, is the how stressful it can get. And what, people who perhaps do not understand, or thankfully they never had to go through a long fertility journey, they do not understand the kind of stress that might be there. They don't understand that, how it is, how it can make you so overwhelmed with with this whole situation. But it can, because it is waiting weeks after weeks and months after months. It is also waiting to get in the first place to get checked. It is the first, your diagnostic test here in the UK, because most of the people go through NHS. So their first point of call is to go to their GP, to go to their doctor, and then get the ball rolling. They then write certain tests, you go through the test, and sometimes tests are not done, sometimes they are cancelled, sometimes you cannot make the appointment, or you are rushing from the office, all of this. And imagine if you have to keep doing this over and over again for months. So there is, I'm just giving examples. There may be many other examples of your own particular situation right now. What is the best natural solution to release from stress? We're going to talk about that. Thank you for your question, Sridhar Pandya. So, so here specifically in fertility journey, yes, stress is for the couple, in heterosexual couples or same-sex couples as well. It is stressful for both the partners, or if you are a single person trying to get pregnant, then also there may be stress. And the stress on the, specifically on the women who are going through this journey. Also, there are other types of scenarios as well. For example, if you are a surrogate mother and then going through this journey for the couples, again, what is happening in your life at that time if you're trying to get pregnant for them and going through the whole protocol. So stress manifestation, it's a huge factor. We know that stress directly affects fertility. So it's like a vicious cycle. In order to get pregnant, you need to reduce stress. But while you are trying to get pregnant, you get more stressed out about the whole thing. One, that it is not happening. Secondly, even the medications and appointments and everything that you're doing, that might be making you even more stressed out. So yeah, and I think on that list of stress, you can also add, relationship issues. People might start having relationship issues, and they might start fighting with each other because they just stressed out by the whole thing, and they don't understand why all of a sudden they're having so many fights between them. Right. So few things that I want to talk about, solutions or tips to understand your stress trigger points and how to handle them, how to reduce them going further in your journey, specifically if the journey becomes then longer for you over more than few months, or rather more, we are into years, 1 or 2 years or more years. Then how can you keep your sanity? How can you keep your mind and body healthier as you can do with little tips? So the first thing is to understand that what is your stress trigger point. As I just given few examples, what happens when you're stressed out? Most of the people sometimes don't understand that they are stressed out, or they don't want to acknowledge that they're stressed out. It's like, no, I am fine. Nothing is happening to me. So that is not going to take the stress away. So first, realizing that you may be getting affected more than what you thought. And this whole process is making you act and react this way. So understanding that. And then to understand, where is their stress making an impact? Is it your body? Is it your digestion? Is it your mind? Is it your behavior? Is it your hormones? What is it that you are obviously noticing? It's obviously going to affect all of you. But what is the first thing, or what is the main thing that is getting affected in your case? So, from a natural medicine point of view, which Ayurvedic medicine is, I want to talk about your personality type, what we call your doshas, and how that information can help you in reducing stress, how that information can help you in understanding what is your predisposition, how does your mind and body work, and then how can you utilize that information to keep the stress under control. Yeah. So in Ayurveda, we have three doshas. These are personality types. These are predispositions that we have. We all have. Like many people have got dry skin. Many people have got warm skin, cold skin. Similarly, everything about each person is unique to that person, and that can be broadly categorized into few categories, and even within that there are very, very, very subtle differences between people. So from Ayurvedic point of view, natural medicine, which it's natural system of healthcare and the oldest system of healthcare, it talks about your doshas. And dosha is your personality, how you are, what is your current balance, your personality balance is at this point in time. Whether you are vata type, pitta type, or kapha type, or you are vata, pitta, pitta, kapha, kapha, vata, which are the dosha types. Yeah. Uh, on my website, there is a dosha questionnaire that you can fill. If you have never filled something like that before, you don't know what your personality is like, then you can find out, because doshas talk about uh, every system, everything to do with you as a person. It talks about your mind, your digestion, your behavior, also your physical attributes. Uh, but I'm talking here particularly in relation to how stress is affecting you, and how knowing about your personality, you can reduce and manage the stress better and in least amount of time. Because if you know that you are a vata type, say for example, and for vata people, one of the first things that get affected when they're stressed out is their digestive system, digestion. So they will be constipated most likely, or that digestive system starts to get, they start to get bloating, or that they can't digest very well. So there may be stomach cramps as well. So like IBS kind of symptoms they will get, which is irritable bowel syndrome. And the other thing, quite classic with them, is the sleep. So sleep will start to get affected. They will be waking up more, or that the sleep is not restful enough. So I'm going to very briefly go over, for each dosha, how the stress will manifest for each dosha. And then if you are dual type, which most people are dual type, then depending on which dosha is your prominent dosha, what is your prominent personality trait, according to that, your stress factor, stress trigger, and then how can you handle it. So for vata people, as I was mentioning, those are the things. Skin can get really dry, itchy. They might notice eyes can get very dry if they are stressed out. Scalp can get very dry. They might start to get dandruff, which they never had before. And these are the things I'm mentioning in relation to those who have been going through fertility issues for a long time, and they are stressed out. And I know clients, my own clients, and people in the fertility, on the fertility journey, who have a lot of different types of all these stresses that show up in them. Yeah. So for vata constitution, for vata personality, because it's with vata, it's all the nervous system which is in overdrive. Then anxiety might be there. They might be overthinking things, where they're just thinking and thinking, and they just cannot stop thinking about a particular scenario. For IVF, say for example, if the couple is going through IVF and they have had egg collection, or they have had embryos put back in, and they have to wait for 2 weeks, and they're just constantly worrying and thinking and worrying and thinking, and sleep is affected, and they can't eat very well, digestion is affected, they're constipated. So you see the whole loop it starts to play depending on your constitution, depending on your personality type. For Pitta people, Pitta is all about passion. So it is fiery people, people who are very, very goal oriented. So for them, when generally they have a set idea, okay, by this time I want to achieve this goal. So similarly, that will happen in fertility journey as well. They will be, okay, 6 months down the line or 1 year down the line, we should have a baby. And when fertility is probably as what's the word here, it's not there's no guarantee and there's no confirmation that yes, in few months time you're definitely going to be pregnant. Whether you're going through IVF, whether you're going through any natural conception system, there is no 100% guarantee that it is going to happen. So they might have a certain idea in few months, few weeks time. Everybody has. It's great to have goals as well, and to work towards goals. That's how they are. And if they then and Pitta also stands for perfection, so they like to perfect everything how it is happening. And when things do not happen that way, which is probably the highest scenario case in case of fertility journey, anything can go wrong at any point in time. So what can happen with Pitta people or Pitta predominant, where the dosha is predominant Pitta? They can start to become irritable, moody, jealous, angry, really, really angry, where they don't know where this anger is coming from. The skin might get really flushed out. They may start to come up in spots as well, or many Pitta people start to get rosacea. And that is while they're going through, all the other things that is happening around them regarding their fertility. And in terms of digestion, they will be eating, but eating and going to the toilet much more. They might be slightly on the side of diarrhea, and they're not understanding why is this happening with them. Why are these? And also, if you are a couple and going through all the IVF drugs that you're taking, if you're going through IVF journey, those IVF drugs, those hormones also affect you accordingly what your dosha is. So, for Pitta people, how certain hormones are going to make you, how your moods are going to be affected, how your body is going to be affected when you are on those hormones. So that is also in accordance with your doshas. And that might affect you even further, stresses you out. And if you do not understand that this is how your body has this predisposition, that it can make you further more stressed out. And the third dosha that we have is personality type is kapha. So kapha is how they would be stressed out. They will be feeling low. The mood is low. They will overeat, overindulge in things, and they may not feel like exercising. These will be women who have more kapha predominance. Taking all these hormones are probably going to get them to retain more water, and so more edema will be there. And then understanding how their digestion will be slower a bit. They will, whatever they're eating will be just not going through the system. They feel, I don't feel hungry, much hungry. So all of this is happening according to what is your personality and what is your predisposition. So if you are a kapha person and you understand that, okay, this is my personality, like I am more likely to be overeating. So if you then are mindful, if you understand and then are mindful, you acknowledge it, and you know what to watch out for not overeating. Or if you are then overeating, then doing accordingly, exercise if it is allowed during your fertility journey. So these little tips that you can do when you are trying to get pregnant and it hasn't happened yet, and you are stressing out, feeling all these you know, different changes that are happening around you and a lot of things which are out of your control, then understanding first your constitution. Secondly, to put simple systems in place for yourself. The time of getting up in the morning. So for Vata people, one of the things that happen with them is everything becomes erratic. When they're anxious, routine goes out of window. They just will eat anytime, sleep anytime, work anytime. So what will help is to be in good schedule, getting up on time, having breakfast on time. If you are then working according to your working hours, eating food on time, and making sure in the evening you then sleep on time, and in between where there are times to take your medications, you are doing that, and perhaps putting little alarms on, or reminders for yourself, so that it takes that overwhelm away, where you are not thinking about everything at the same time and feeling completely stressed out. Now, also to reduce stress, exercise and yoga that is mentioned with Ayurveda, also it is now being used extensively in all sorts of health arenas, and fertility is also, when people are on fertility journey, they're going to fertility yoga. There is pregnancy yoga. Also, when you're trying to get pregnant and before, when you're preparing, there is detox and yoga. All of that is being used. And when you know your constitution, you can use yoga accordingly, because yoga postures, they change according to your body and mind. I know a lot of Vata people who have said they hate sitting and doing any slow form of yoga. They like yoga where there is movement. Pitta kind of people will like a strong form of yoga. They don't like light asanas or light form of yoga. They like the strength building yoga. So accordingly, the pranayam, the breathing exercise that you can do, doing those according to your constitution, doing those according to your predisposition. If you are someone who cannot sit and meditate, then perhaps it's best that you walk and meditate. Perhaps it's best that you go for a walk in the garden and or outside, and you are doing a walking meditation. So understanding your constitution, understanding how stress is affecting you right now. If it is the schedule or the routine that has gone completely out of window, then making sure that you put that schedule in place, put it on paper, write it, not minute by minute, but every half an hour what you're doing, all the major events of that day, so that it reminds you and take that stress away. So you're not thinking that, oh, I've forgotten something, or there was something important today to do, or you forgot to take your medication or injection, but that you are on track with everything. So it helps to take away the unnecessary anxiety that you might be causing when you should be relaxing. But just by saying relaxing, it's not going to happen. When you have a good system in place for your body, for your mind, that's when the body is going to automatically feel, okay, you know that you have ticked that, whatever the task was for that day, you have ticked it, and you know that you are on track with everything. So that's, one new thing perhaps for you to think. You've perhaps never thought of your constitution, your personality, in terms of how stress affects you. And also, what we call in Ayurveda, we call it dincharya, putting daily schedule in place. How would you like to run your day? And I think when you're going through fertility journey, it's crucial that you have this chart for yourself, or a scheduler for yourself, or you put it, like I've got a schedule right in front of me on the wall. You put it right there, daily schedule. Because I know this is specifically the case for those who are going through IVF journey, or any kind of appointments and medications that they're taking from doctors. There is a lot to do. There is a lot to remember. And that adds to that pressure that you might feel, that too many things to do, and also that you don't forget. So, yeah, just think about putting simpler things in place for yourself, and putting things in place for your mind and body type. Not the same stress reducing exercise does not have the same effect on everyone. For someone, it's one kind of exercise and one kind of mindfulness activity that helps. For another person, it's a different kind of mindfulness activity that's going to help them. And that is based on who you are as a person and what is happening around you, in your fertility journey for now. So yeah, so find out about your constitution. Yeah, fill the dosha questionnaire on my website, or you can find dosha questionnaire online anywhere. Find out what is your constitution, what is your dosha balance right now, and that will just help you to understand what kind of simple things you can put in place for yourself, which will take the stress away. Because there is more understanding of how you are processing this stress and anxiety that is happening around you, and to feel a little more in control of your body and mind, so that it's not just completely going out of hand. Yeah. Okay, I think that's about it for today, and I hope that I've given you a little food for thought, something, uh, a little change that you can make in your life if you are one of those who are going through fertility issues right now, or you know somebody who's going through fertility issues, and as a friend, that person is freaking out, or that person has gone really quiet on you, and you think, what is going on with them, and how can you support them or help them? Then perhaps introduce this idea to them. Yeah. So feel free to share the video once it's it goes online, and you feel free to do that. I'm also recording this as a podcast. I will share that on the podcast platforms, Spotify and iTunes and everywhere, and also on Instagram TV as well. So sharing it everywhere so that nobody misses out the information to help them, to support them, and they don't feel lonely, or they don't feel completely stressed out in this journey of fertility to get their dream family. Make sure that you are happier and healthier. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening and watching. And thank you, Sarah, for your comment. And I hope, I just wish you well. And do reach out because this is what I do, support women going through fertility issues. So if there is anything more that you want for me to help you, then do comment or get in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye.